Matt, last year in the college football playoff, 12 teams, 6 quarterbacks were transfers that got their team into the playoffs. Did that surprise you any?
Not at all, especially not in this era of player movement and NIL and contracts, 1 year contracts. There's only very few players that have more than a 1 year deal on NIL deals, and they all have free movement every year. Mm-hmm. So no, that doesn't surprise me at all. I also think specifically to the quarterback, coaches are looking for guys that they don't have to put much work into, that already know what's going on, that already know defenses, that already know concepts. That doesn't surprise me at all, Jimmy. Guys that have been through the quote-unquote wars, the battles. Yeah, that's what they're looking for.
You used to hear that it took a quarterback at least a year in a system to flourish, but we saw Will Howard and others that overcame that. How much of that was just they have experience and also a good supporting cast?
Yeah, I think it's a little of both. I also think that we're at the point now with quarterbacks is I think teams are only going to invest in the elite of the elite quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Like that's where you really think, okay, I can develop this guy, he could be our guy, and we can develop him early. The problem is are those players in turn invested in the teams? Because if they don't play early, they're going to think, well, I'm not going to play here, I'm going somewhere else. So it's a balance right now for these guys. It's not an easy situation. That's why you see so much turnover at that position. And again, it's that position because there's only one of them on the field.
You wouldn't be surprised to see of the 12 playoff teams this year, 6 of them being transfer quarterbacks.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
You think that's where we're headed with most of this?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I think the position demands it. I mean, if you want to get to that spot, you've got to, that your quarterback play has to be elite. Mm-hmm. It has to be where you've got a guy in the field that can get to the line of scrimmage and say, all right, we're in a bad play, we got to get out of this play, and then knows what to get into, and knows where to go with the ball. And those quarterbacks are more rare than you think.
Gambusa's Barbershop, Knoxville's award-winning barbershop where traditions and trends blend. You can get classic cuts to razor-head shaves to contemporary styling, all at a great price. You'll leave feeling great and looking even better. Gambusa's Barbershop, where men belong. Brent Venables said yesterday that you have to have elite quarterback play in the SEC to win in the SEC. You agree with that statement?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the funny thing, Jimmy, a decade ago, you got to have defensive linemen. And you still do. Yeah. Defensive linemen are still everything, but if you have an elite quarterback like John Mateer at Oklahoma, who they got from Washington State, obviously, then you've got a chance. That's why everybody has so much hope for Oklahoma right now. They've got a quarterback.
And you think he is elite?
Oh, yeah.
Based on what he did last year, it's pretty impressive.
I think you watch him play and what he can do, and the way it's not just the fact that he can throw and he can make every throw and he's dangerous with his legs, the way he leads a team, the way the guys rally around him. Yeah, I think he's legit. Absolutely.
What did you think of Tennessee's decision not to pay Nico Iamaleava the $4 million, which has been widely reported, and he goes to UCLA supposedly for a lot less money? What did you think of Tennessee's stance there?
I liked Tennessee's stance. I think it's just a bad situation all around. I mean, it would have been better for Nico, for his development, for his ability to improve his draft stock had he stayed at Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Would have obviously been better for the Vols had he stayed and become a more polished quarterback, because let's face it, he struggled in big games last year. He did not play well in some big games last year. So he missed a lot of deep throws last year. Mm-hmm. But if you get a guy in another year in Josh Heupel's system, you get a guy who's more comfortable in that system, you got a chance to do different things. So I didn't like it. I liked what Tennessee did in their stance. I think Nico is getting bad information, and it's unfortunate because it hurts both of them. Because I think Nico's now in a situation where he's on a less than average team, and he's going to struggle, and his draft prospects are going to struggle.
Do you think he is elite or potentially could be elite?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think he's got a terrific arm, obviously. But he's a young guy. I mean, last year was his first year as a starter. Mm-hmm. And they got to the playoff. And he really didn't play well in big games, and he still got to the playoff. Yeah. So you could see the potential was there. And Josh Heupel has a history of developing quarterbacks, has a history of guys getting better with each season under him. So you would think that this coming season would have been a chance for Nico to break out a little bit. It's the whole thing, like I said earlier. Just strange to me that Nico was getting that kind of information from someone, and at some point along that process, Jimmy, he didn't say, right, what am I doing? This is going to hurt me professionally. This is going to hurt my ability to improve as a pro prospect.
I was talking to a former Tennessee player who's a really good player, too, and he said, I would not sign a quarterback out of high school anymore. I would just go pluck somebody out of the portal. Would you agree with that philosophy?
I think there's a lot of coaches who think that.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier, but I don't think I would think that as a rule, because there's too many good young quarterbacks in high school coming up that if they're coached correctly, if they're developed correctly, can be legitimate difference makers. And it's like I said earlier, I think coaches are only willing to deal with like the elite of the elite right now, but there's some guys that, you know, a guy like John Mateer, no one knew about him, but he developed at Washington State. So if you're patient enough and you have the chance to, while you're playing someone else, develop a guy, I don't think you should ever give up on high school guys. No.
I'd have a hard time passing on Arch Manning, for example.
Sure, like the elite of the elite, it's very difficult to just say, we're not going to recruit him. And again, there's only a handful of schools that are going to be able to get those elite of the elite. But, you know, if you look at just under those guys, like the 4-star guys or the high 4-star guys, you know, those are the guys that are going to places, and if they don't play, they're out. That doesn't mean they're not talented. It doesn't mean they can't be developed into like elite players.
2 other questions. Joey Aguilar comes into Tennessee, basically from Appalachian State. He never played at UCLA. What do you think of him? Fleet Tire has been serving Knoxville's tire needs for over 40 years with the best quality tires available, including Michelin and Bridgestone. Owned and operated by Tennessee grads, their tires may not be orange, but their blood sure runs orange. For the best tires made with the best prices, see Fleet Tire. Rick Terry Jewelry Designs, voted the best and favored jeweler every year. These folks are real jewelers, master craftsmen, quality jewelry, unique designs, smart designs, very knowledgeable, friendly, and helpful. Serving West Knoxville for 39 years. We want to be your jeweler.
I liked him at Appalachian State. Fun guy. I'm a tough guy. I love a tough quarterback. He's a tough quarterback. I think they'll do a little more run game stuff, which will be good. Which will be good for that offense. I don't know. Well, let's see what he does in the SEC. It's different, man. It's a different game with different players and different athleticism, different speed, different pressure, different road spots. I mean, you go into some very difficult spots, and the game is going to be on him. Now, if you're a Tennessee fan, you got to think of it this way. Well, I trust the track record of Josh Heupel. Right. And you look at everywhere Josh has been as a head coach and as an assistant coach. He's got quarterbacks ready to play, and they've played well for him. So we'll see.
One other thing. Give me your top 3 or 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the SEC.
Wow.
Would Mateer be among them?
I think Mateer will be close to the top, actually. I would say he's one. I think Austin Simmons is going to be a terrific player at Ole Miss. Obviously, Nussmeier, he has the ability in his second year to be like a huge jump. I mean, Brian Kelly was talking last year how the offense would be better than the year before, as good or better than the year before, and it wasn't. But now you've got a guy in his second year as a starter. He's been in that system now for 4 years. So, yeah, I think he's going to play well. I think Lenore Sellers is a guy, Jimmy, that if the trend line continues, holy cow. And I hate to say this, and I don't hate to say it, put it on a young cat, but he's got like some Cam Newton ability, and that's saying a lot. And of course, DJ Lagway, if he stays healthy and that shoulder's healthy, you know, in the second half of the season, you saw him make throws that like 97% of the quarterbacks in college football can't make.
Yeah.
I saw him do things like that. So yeah, that'll be interesting too.
Would Manning be among that group?
Yeah, of course. I mean, Arch is just simply because of what Steve has done with quarterbacks over the years, not just at Texas. Obviously at Alabama, at USC, at Washington, all of his much like Josh, all of his quarterbacks produce. And Arch, obviously, with that kind of talent, and I think there's going to be a little more athleticism at quarterback at Texas this year, too, so that'll be fun to watch.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Jimmy.
All right.
Thank you.